Shalom Aleichem, this is the Christian Anarchist. Now, this video is addressed to a Christian that I had a discussion with over some comments in one of our videos addressed to atheists. In it, G-Man mentioned something about me and my theistic evolution view. Said, find me a passage in the Bible that says theistic evolution. I'm like, fair point, okay. I still believe it, even though I don't see any scripture that could indicate it, even though there are interpretations of scripture that people have come to the conclusion of. But I asked him this: show me a passage where it says we have free will, in the sense that we can make any choices we want that aren't predetermined by our God. He says we have that kind of free will, that we are able to do such things. So I said, show me in the Bible where it says that. Well, he didn't do it. He just didn't didn't say any words, he just kept quiet. And of course, even Russ decided to join me and, back me up on this. But, here's the thing. So, my challenge to G-Man is this: show me a passage in the Bible, once again, that says we have this thing called free will. So, while you do that, I'm going to read you some passages that indicate we don't have such a thing. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 9. A man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord directs his step. Right here, we may feel in our heart that we're coming up with something, but the Lord is the one that's moving our actions. He's the one that gives the final authority to say, you're doing this. So we can't make any final decisions unless it comes straight from God. Alright, next. Alright, so this gets rid of the idea that there are things we can do regardless of the topic of free will, because free will is we can do anything in our will. However, in Romans chapter 3, around verse 11 to 12, God says, there's no one who can understand. There is none that seeketh after God. This is coming from the Apostle Paul. Still is Scripture. So there's none that understandeth, none that seeks after God, and that there is not a single person that does a good thing. There's not a single one that does good. No, not one. So we can't do good, we can't understand, and we don't seek after God. So there are some things that gets rid of the free will thing. Once again, Romans chapter 3, verses 11 through 12, so you can check all that out. Okay, what are some other Bible verses? Okay, well, how about our salvation? Ephesians chapter 1, verses 4 through 6. He chose us in him before the foundation of the world, which means before the earth was even laid upon, before it was even made, that we should be holy and blameless before him. In love he predestined us for adoption as sons through Jesus Christ, according to the purpose of his will, to the praise of his glorious grace. Because grace, as you know in Ephesians chapter 2, verses 8 through 9, faith comes by grace. Salvation comes by grace. So, what's next? What if God, desiring to show his wrath and make known his power, has endured with much patience vessels of wrath? Ooh, these are the people that go to hell. These are the sinners. These are the unrepentant people. Vessels of wrath prepared for destruction, in order to make known the riches of his glory, for vessels of mercy which he prepared beforehand for glory. So already, we didn't have a choice, and there are people that are saved, and they didn't have a choice in the matter. God chose his will. Romans chapter 9, verse 22 to 23, if you want to go look that passage up for yourself. So, Scripture's obvious. Also, remember what Jesus said, right? John chapter 15, verse 16, you did not choose me, I chose you. So they didn't have a choice in choosing Jesus. Jesus chose them. They didn't choose him. So, yeah. Also, don't forget, this is my favorite one. John chapter 6, verse 44, for someone that says, yeah, but what about, we believe, and that's a choice. Well, John chapter 6, verse 44. No one can come to me unless the Father who sent me draws him. So Jesus is saying that no one can come to me unless the Father who is in heaven sends you to me. So only God can allow you to come to God. So those are some of my verses. So until then, Shalom Aleichem. Peace be upon you, G-Man. Really, I hope so, because you know why? I wish that upon you. Shalom.
Subscribe to this channel. You know why? Because he's the cream of the crop. So if you're the cream, you gotta subscribe. Dig it!